Everyone, and welcome. Today I'm going to give you a whole bunch of really simple tips that you can use to save time in the kitchen. Hello, my name is Sue Ann Hickey. I'm a certified naturopath and creator of Body Typology, System for Lasting Weight Loss. So it used to be that people would spend 2 hours a day in the kitchen. Moms weren't working, they were stay at home, and they spend a lot of time preparing food from scratch. And it seems that today women only spend about 20 minutes in the kitchen per day. So how can you improve your healthy eating and make sure that you're doing things quickly enough to save time? Because I know we're all super busy. Many people have the added bonus from COVID of being able to work from home, and so they're saving a little bit of commuting time. So how can you put that time to the best use and save time in the kitchen? So some of my tips. Number one, you need really good tools. You need to invest in really good tools. Number one thing to buy is a really, really good, expensive chopping knife. You cannot expect to be able to save time chopping those vegetables if you have a really crummy knife that doesn't chop really efficiently and fast. It needs to be super sharp and it needs to be really good quality. I bought one knife, it lasted me almost 20 years, a little bit more. When it was finally really finished, I couldn't sharpen it anymore. Invested in another knife. This will probably last me another 20 years. So invest in a really good knife. Another thing is your peeler, right? Those vegetables don't peel themselves. So this is not expensive. Get a really good peeler that works. Nothing more frustrating than having a peeler that's not sharp, you're scraping and scraping and it's not working. Same thing with a grater. Other people might want to invest in things like a food processor. I use mine almost every other day. Blender, that's a no-brainer. Costs maybe $20 now. They're really not expensive. So invest in the tools that you need. You don't need a whole lot of gadgets, but you need to make sure that you've got the good tools that you need. Now, when you're chopping, you want a really good size, big cutting board, because if you have a little one, well, everything's falling off, right? And you can't do large quantities. If you want to learn how to chop, now instead of, a lot of people go up and down like this, instead of doing that, keep this end on the cutting board and just lift up the back. So say you have a long celery or 5 or 6 celeries, the knife stays on the board and you chop like this. It's not hard. Watching Jamie Oliver, his son must be about 10 years old, and he's chopping that way. You can do it too. Be careful with your new sharp knife, but practice and you can do it. Now, the number two thing I know you already know is to make big batches of things. It takes the same amount of time to chop one stalk of celery as it does to chop 5, right? So you want to always cook in batches, especially if you have a big family. You can freeze the leftovers, so double or even triple your recipes. Now it's getting colder. I'm living in Montreal, so I'm making big batches of soup. I have huge pots that I cook them in, put them in batches, freeze them. I have meals for the next weeks coming up, super easy. Same with things like veggie burgers. Even when I'm roasting a chicken, I buy 2, roast them at the same time, and after they're done, take all the chicken off, freeze it in portions, and then put the bones into a pot, some celery, carrots, onions, simmer on the stove, and then I have beautiful chicken soup stock to make any homemade soup over the next coming weeks. That also goes right into the freezer. So other things to do is when you're squeezing lemons, squeeze a whole bunch, right? You have to squeeze and then you have to wash the strainer and all these things. So squeeze a whole bunch of lemons, keep it in a jar in the fridge. You can use it on top of veggies, inside your homemade hummus, wherever you like. And same thing with salad dressing. Make a big, huge batch of salad dressing, keep it in the fridge or the pantry, depending what ingredients you're using. And then you're good to go for a long time. What else? Use time that you're in the kitchen for cooking other things. I often cook my quinoa in the morning when I'm having breakfast. The whole pot actually goes right into the fridge And then by lunch, it's cool and I can put the quinoa into a salad and or whatever I'm making. So use those times that you're in the kitchen to get other things going. Now the best thing to do is to plan and prepare in advance. Always do that, right? So keep a very well stocked fridge and pantry. If you're running out of something, best thing to do, you have a little notepad on the fridge. I put a little piece of this Velcro thing that you can stick it onto the fridge on the other Velcro. Write down as soon as you run out of something. Stay organized. So when you're going shopping, your list is already done. Now, most people find that weekends are the best time to do a lot of cooking, spend a few hours in the kitchen, making big batches of things, so that will last you throughout the week. I know a lot of you are moms that come home or finish work at 5 or 6 and dinner has to be on the table. And instead of grabbing some frozen pizza or frozen lasagna or all these fast prepackaged foods that you know are really unhealthy and going to keep the weight on because they're so high in salt and unhealthy fats, plan and prepare in advance. Get your time set out on the weekend, 2 or 3 hours, and involve the kids. Another time-saving tip, delegate. What could be better than teaching your kids how to cook healthy from a young age? You're setting them up for success. Girls, boys, doesn't matter. Get them in the kitchen, helping to peel the vegetables and chop things, and they love usually to learn how to cook and help out in the kitchen. Now, the last thing I want to tell you to do is to get a really great timer. Yes, you can use your phone, but always use a timer. Who hasn't? I know I always used to put something on the stove and then jump on back onto my computer, and then next thing you know the smoke detector is going off and you've ruined whatever you're cooking is completely burnt and black. So you have a little timer, one that can be heard. This one you can hear all over the house. So get yourself a good timer and okay. But you'll hear that will go off a long time. And so I hope all these things will help you spend a little bit less time in the kitchen, but be super more efficient to creating healthy meals for you and your family. If you want to know more, please sign up for my newsletter. You can get my ebooks, How to Increase Energy, the 6 biggest mistakes that people make for weight loss, and also my healthy alternatives food list. So the link will be either above or below, or maybe in my bio, depending on what platform you're watching this in. So thanks for watching and have a great day.